What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 10 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. We are using the last of my 5 rental teams videos, or the last team from my 5 rental teams videos, sorry. If you haven't checked that out already, I highly recommend you do. We are using a pretty standard, as I would say, TornOgre team, right? TornOgre with Tsareena. This is Scarf Kyogre. I did make this right before the Players' Cup Invitational, so I did change it a little bit. Kyogre is at 151 speed as opposed to 150, so it is going to outspeed a lot of the common threats that are going to be at 150 with Choice Scarf to outspeed Calyrex. Regieleki, pretty standard there. Tsareena, this is a wide lens Tsareena that does have a good amount of special defense bulk, mainly to be able to survive things like a Sludge Bomb from standard Landorus. It also can do really well versus Calyrex, which is, in my mind, pretty important. We do have Incineroar, pretty standard there, not much to say. A slightly bulky Tornadus, really just so we can still get a lot of damage, but also so we can survive mainly a hit from Calyrex. That was kind of the main thing. I wanted to be able to survive an Ashra Barrage. We already did, like I said, talk about Tsareena. We do have a lot of offensive power with things like triple Axle. Power Whip will always KO Kyogre. We do have payback for opposing Calyrex, as well as U-turn to deal with Rillabooms and pivoting out. And finally, we do have Escavalier. Escavalier really is our main answer for Trick Room. We also do have things like Knockoff to guarantee knockouts onto Calyrex. We can knock out opposing Rillabooms with Mega Horn. We have a great matchup into Zacian with Drill Run, and finally Iron Head for Xerneas. And then, what am I going to say? In the event that we are looking at an opposing Incineroar, if we do have the rain up, we will survive a Flare Blitz from standard Incin. So overall, I thought that that was really important. We do have the rental on screen, and with that, let's just get rockin' and rollin' and move into the first game. Alright, battle number 1, and we are looking at an Eternatus team. So this is Whimsicott, Volcarona with Aegislash, Rillaboom, Eternatus, and Urshifu. So we have, what is our sort of main answer? I do really like TornOgre. I think both of these are really strong. I do like Escavalier mainly for Aegislash, and then probably Tsareena as well. Right, I don't think Incin is really going to do much here. I'm just trying to think if there's a better way to lead things. Aegislash could be a tricky lead because of the fact that it does have Wide Guard, but I'm fine to just Scald into that slot. Regieleki, I don't really think there's a good argument for it, and same with Incin. I think Incin doesn't do enough compared to what else we can bring. So I'm going to go with this. I'm just trying to think of what am I the most worried about? Urshifu, if it's Urshifu Water, that's going to be a little bit tricky, but we do have Tsareena. We can set up a Tailwind. I do expect them to try and match. So that can definitely lead to some tricky spots, but we do have, like I said, the ability to Thunder into there, so that's good. So we do have to worry about potentially an Aegislash. Aegislash going for Wide Guard, but a lot of these things we want other things besides Water Spout, so it's kind of fine there. We will see Wimmy Eternatus, so I very much would like to go for a Ice Beam as well as potentially a Taunt. I'm thinking Taunt onto Eternatus. I want to do this. I'm tempted for Taunt just to prevent any sort of setup. I'm going to go with a Tailwind, actually. They could be Taunt Wimmy, which would be really scary, as we're going to see actually either no Tailwind or a slower Whimsicott, as it is going to look like potentially just some sort of normal attack. We will get really good damage onto them, as we do see why they are not going for a Tailwind, because of the fact that they do have the Grass Knot tech. So a little tricky, as we will see Meteor Beam come out from this Eternatus. So I'm guessing that goes into Torn, as we will see it connect probably actually into Kyogre. Actually, this is going to go into Torn. which is fine. Tornadus does have a sash. So what you... We could double Wimmy, calling a Tailwind and a Protect. Actually, wait. I can. I have a Tailwind up. I can do this, and I can taunt into Whimsicott, which is great for us. It still does allow for a potential just Grass Knot in a Kyogre, but that's fine. I don't really want to be down 2-4 so early in the match, but no. Yeah, because what you go for the Grass Knot. We will see. Yeah, I think that makes sense. We probably, I feel like it was actually really obvious. We will hit into Wimmy with a taunt. So let's see if it is Mental Herb. We are going to see no Mental Herb, so that suggests to me that it is Focus Sash, as we will unfortunately lose Kyogre. But we do now have a way to prevent Whimsicott from setting up a Tailwind, which will let us also bring out Tsareena. Tsareena does have a really free triple axle into either slot. So the question really is, where do I want to send a triple axle? Looking at what they have in the back, they could have Volcarona. So I'm actually going to triple axle the Wimmy, and I'm going to go for a Hurricane onto Eternatus. I think this is a little bit risky just because of the fact that you can Sludge Bomb into Tsareena pretty freely, but we do have a lot of bulk. But this also is a +1 Eternatus. So it's just like, But I'm thinking there's also the chance that you swap Eternatus. I mean, do you bring Volcarona to this game, though? Because I think if you have Volcarona, you swap it in for Eternatus, trying to catch a potential triple axle for a burn, which like isn't the most unheard of, as we do see a swap out. Please okay, it is Urshifu, which is like equally fine with me. We do see it as Urshifu Dark. Hurricane is gonna do some really good damage. It looks like it's gonna go down because I'm guessing the sash is on Whimsicott, so we will outspeed with triple axle. We will hit 1, we will hit 2. We just need to hit this third one. We do manage to hit this third one, so we are able to pick up some really crucial double knockout this turn. We still have Tailwind to work with, so Tsareena will be faster. And so the big question now is, what do you have in the back? We will see Eternatus come out next to Rillaboom. So this is great for us, right? You cannot fake out with Rillaboom. You could go for a Protect. So what? You could... We do have a Escavalier. No. I would like to... No. We have 1 turn of Tailwind left. I would like to triple axle Eternatus. I'm going to triple axle Rillaboom, because most of them don't have Protect, and then go for a Protect on Tornadus, just because I want the second Tailwind, right? And if we call the Protect on Eternatus, that would be really good for us, as yep, we will see the Protect on Eternatus. So what I'm hoping is we can get significant chunk onto Rilla, and then what we can do is we can Tailwind the subsequent turn, and let us, wow, that is really good damage onto Rillaboom. And so, okay, perfect. You're going to hit into Tornadus, which tells me that you really don't have good sources of damage. And now what we got to do is we just have to, if we can KO Eternatus with a triple axle, so we can do that here and go for another Tailwind. This should put us in a good position. You could risk the double Protect, but we are going to see no double Protect, so Wide Lens really coming in clutch. We just, like I said, got to hit this triple. We will hit 1. We will hit 2. Big question, will we hit 3? We do hit 3, so I think that should be a wrap, right? Rillaboom is only going to be able to potentially KO one thing, as it's either going to be a Wood Hammer, as we do see, yep, Wood Hammer into Tornadus, which is fine. We now can go for a really safe Wood Hammer, not Wood Hammer, U-turn onto Rilla, as well as either some kind of knockoff, or yeah, we have really good damage overall, whether it be from knockoff, whether it be from Iron Head. We do have, like I said, the safe Iron Head. We don't even need to risk missing at all this turn. So overall, really good first battle. I think Tsareena really was able to kind of carry it, really taking advantage of that wide lens, and I think there's a reason why it is such good tech on Tsareena, right? You have 99% with triple axle, and that is incredible, and it got the KO onto Whimsicott, not worrying about Focus Sash. It was able to get rid of Eternatus. It was able to do significant chunk into Rillaboom, and just, yeah, and also, like, I think figuring out the items was really important, and calling that switch on the Eternatus into Urshifu, where I thought it was going to be Volcarona, and I was like, hey, let's KO Whimsicott where it's safe, and then just try and get some Hurricane damage there, where I think Triple Axle still would have picked up the KO, or if it didn't, like, I'm glad that we were able to get the guarantee. But like I said, overall, really good first battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. Alright, battle number 2, and it is Calyrex. It is Calyrex, Mineshaw with Entei, Rillaboom, a Nihilego, and Whimsicott. So we do have a Scavalier. A Scavalier I think is really nice. We also do have Incineroar. Like, there are a lot of options. So figuring out kind of what is best. I could do standard TornOgre. I just feel like I have to match it because they do have a Whimsicott of their own. What? Tsareena is Scavalier? Tsareena is Scavalier. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to leave Incin behind because of the fact that we do have good ways of dealing with Calyrex. They do have 2 Inner Focus users. We have a Scavalier for Rillaboom. We also do have Tsareena for that. Like, I think we're in a good spot without it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Regieleki is tempting, but they do have Rillaboom, which makes it scary. They also do have, what is it called? Entei, which I'm assuming is going to be Assault Vest. So I guess the lead that I'm most scared of would potentially be Mineshaw Calyrex, as we will see. We do see Mineshaw Wimmy, which is fine with me. It is fine with me, right? It should be fine with me. I'm thinking Scald. I could Scald into Mineshaw, hoping for a burn. Switch into Tsareena. I'm going to swap into Tsareena. The only reason for that is the potential that the Wimmy has Encore. So it's like if I go for a Protect, I could have actually, what I should have done is I should have switched Kyogre into Tsareena. As we do see a knockoff, that's a little unfortunate. You will get rid of my Choice Scarf, as we will hit a Scald into this Mineshaw. I would love very much to burn it and just get rid of it turn 1, because that is a huge problem right out of the way. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Swap into Torn, and payback my... I don't want to lose. I'm going to go for this. I think we should be able to get Torn out safely. We can stagger, more importantly, we can stagger our Tailwind this way. Because, right, I mean, yeah, even if you like, what, you're not going to close combat into... I mean, you could close combat into Kyogre. That's not going to make a difference. You probably are going to want to knock off on the Tsareena in the event that it has Assault Vest. Okay, this is probably close combat into Tsareena, which is what I'm going to guess. We do see a knockoff here. Luckily, we do manage to hold on, which is great. We do, unfortunately, lose a Wide Lens, but... Whimsicott... This is the thing, like, does Wimmy have Taunt? Does it have Encore? Like, this is hard, for sure. Probably Calyrex. We do see, yep, Calyrex comes out. We still are fine because we do have a Escavalier. So Escavalier can live a +2 Astral Barrage. So I want to go for a Tailwind. Oh, you have Helping Hand. That actually screws with things a lot. Because Helping Hand lets you... I think it's a +2. Yeah, that's actually really bad. We do get off Tailwind, which isn't going to matter because you also have a Tailwind up. Astral Barrage brings Torn down to Sash. Oh, this is... I mean, it doesn't actually even... It doesn't KO Torn? Okay, so this is a bulky Calyrex. I think it's Scarfed. There's no way that I should have lived with Tornadus off a Helping Hand. So like I said, this suggests to me that this is some kind of bulky Calyrex, which, I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna do this. Actually, wait. You have 1 turn of Tailwind left. I would like to just go for a Protect. I don't need to give you a free knockout, and then go for a knockoff here. I have a feeling that you might be Scarf Calyrex, right? Like, Escavalier can live +2. Where is the Escavalier calc? We do see an Encore. Okay, so that's really good to know. We do have to switch out the subsequent turn. You are going to get no boost. Oh, we know you're not Focus Sash. So this is perfect, right? Escavalier is going to eat up this hit. Yeah, Escavalier takes that super well. We will get the knockoff onto this Calyrex. Calyrex will go down. Let's see what it's holding. You are holding a Choice Scarf. Yeah, that's what I figured. So we now can go for an Iron Head onto Whimsicott. We are going to be faster because we did Stagger Tailwind. So we can taunt onto their Encore. And the last one is going to be Rilla. Still tricky for sure. I'm going to switch Torn into Ogre. I'm going to go for an Iron Head onto Wimmy. We might have to sacrifice... Kyogre. I think we do actually have to sacrifice Kyogre. Because what I'm thinking, right, is if you fake out... I need you to fake out into Torn. You fake out into Torn. Kyogre takes the fake out. You double up into that slot. I can KO... If I can KO Wimmy with Escavalier, we're in a really good spot. Because then I'm slowly getting recovery back on Escavalier. And you shouldn't really have a good way to deal damage into me. We will see a fake out. Unfortunately, onto Escavalier. That's fine. Do we see the double up? Or is that... Yeah, we are going to see the double up. Makes sense. We do get a little bit recovery with... we are going to get some Grassy Terrain recovery. God. What? Ice Beam. Ice Beam here. Iron Head into Wimmy. Oh god, this is not fun. Okay, that's fine. We are going for we're going for a knockoff, which is definitely a little unfortunate. Yeah, that's actually really a pain. We will knock off on a Rillaboom. That's fine. We do get rid of its Miracle Seed, so it is going to do less damage. Oh god, yeah, because now we're trapped into... Because you can go for a... what's it called? A Grassy Glide into Tornadus. Or you can Moonblast. We go for a Hurricane. There is a chance you might not be max speed. And we go for... We're locked in knockoff, unfortunately. Let's go into Rilla. I'm guessing because of the fact that we have an Assault Vest, we're in a good spot. We will see a Grassy Glide here. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is a... Let's see how much this does. This is going to do 17. So we should be recovering more. Yeah, that's so rough. That's actually really rough that we're not. Because we're locked in. So we are losing health from Whimsicott, which is definitely unfortunate. Yeah, I think they're going to take the... Because, yeah, we're losing too much health that we're not recovering back. And this Grassy Glide with the Moonblast should put us in range of one more round. My only hope is what? I critical hit Rillaboom. Which, yeah, even a critical hit's not going to do enough. So, definitely a little bit of an unfortunate loss. Because I'm going to try to do this. I'm guessing you're just going to Encore me. If you're saying, hey, I want to go for damage, which you're not going to, because why would you? God, I hate Encore on Limbs. I hate Encore. Honestly, like, Encore is such a bad mechanic. If that had been a crit, we actually could have come back from this. Yeah, if we had crit Rillaboom there, that's... I'm not gonna actually be able to do damage into them, but I'm just curious to see how much this would have done into Wimmy to know if I would have been able to win this one if we had crit onto Rillaboom. We do see a Protect on Rillaboom. Wait, so this is potentially not over. I mean, it really is. Knock off into Whims. Just kidding. And it's Rocky Helmet. Nice. So I'm trying to think, right? I guess the play would have been to... I'm just trying to think of like where I could have adjusted. I should have targeted down Wimmy turn 1. I should have swapped Kyogre into Tsareena, targeted down Wimmy with Hurricane, and said, hey, it's fine. Yeah, because then you can't fake out. We either bring Wimmy down to Sash, or we do this. But I was so afraid of Taunt that it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Whimsicott is just, it's so versatile that you're always kind of, in my opinion, take a chance on the set. But overall, still a good second game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. Nope. All right, battle number 3, and it is Calyrex Ice. It is Grimmsnarl, Registeel, Torkoal, Calyrex Ice, Sableye, and Venusaur. So probably no Tsareena. Torn is nice because it has Taunt. So we can potentially taunt a Calyrex going for Trick Room. So what? We can do Tsareena Torn with a Escavalier and Kyogre. Right? That puts us in a good position. Tsareena doesn't have the best matchup into Venusaur, but this prevents any sort of shenanigans. Let's go with this, right? Wait, did I really leave Incin? I really left Incin. I really left Incin versus a Calyrex Ice team. Alright, well. Torkoal Venu. Torkoal Venu is fine. Tsareena Tornadus. This gives me a couple options of how I want to switch. I can switch Kyogre, go for Hurricane. Let's do that. Let's swap here. Let's go for a Hurricane onto Venusaur. I think it's obvious, but at the same time, I think it's fine. You don't really have a good... I mean, something is going to theoretically take a Hurricane, if not this turn, but the next. Worst case, we can just, I'm fine to Water Spout even. If we are able to get Kyogre in safely, we could have swapped Torn to go for a triple axle. And I really am regretting not having Incin right now. We do see just, okay, they're going to just stay in. Hurricane is going to come out. We are just going to pick up a straight KO onto the Venusaur. And now I feel really confident about things, right? Heat Wave, not going to do much into either of them, especially with the rain out. Kyogre hardly taking any damage. We do get the burn on Torn, not a big deal. Especially because of the fact that we have a Water Spout, which is pretty uncontested at this point. And we do have access to Taunt, so I'm guessing what? You bring out Calyrex. You bring out Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl is interesting to me. I have a very free Water Spout, as well as a swap into Tsareena. This will prevent any sort of fake out coming out. I do expect just a light screen. Right, you could just go for a light screen onto this, but I don't think that even then that's really going to help you. As we will see a Protect from Torkoal, I think that yeah, makes just a ton of sense. As Calyrex will have to take a hit, but it will be behind a light screen. So trying to reduce as much damage as possible. But that lets us also swap out as even better, right? Queenly Majesty is going to prevent that fake out from coming through. So now we have a big Water Spout onto both Calyrex and Grimmsnarl. And Calyrex just immediately going down. So now we have guaranteed weather. If we swap out, still not over. Still actually really not over. I'm wondering if it's worth just staying in. Like, even though there's the sun up, like we're gonna outspeed. So I'm fine to do this, as well as just go for a Power Whip onto Calyrex. Right, Calyrex is already so low. Water Spout should do a significant chunk into Torkoal. I was really hoping for a KO there. KO would have been great. Power Whip, please pick up the knockout. Onto Calyrex. Survey says we got it. Yeah, so I think that should probably wrap this up, right? Because Torkoal is going to use Heat Wave. Yeah, you pick up a KO onto Tsareena. You don't even pick up the KO into Tsareena. God, the Tsarena's so good. And then yeah, that's gonna let us just go for a single target Water Spout, as well as we can go for a payback just for guaranteed accuracy. And yeah, that should be a pretty clean one. So overall, I think a really good one. I think it was a really interesting play to leave in Venusaur turn 1. I guess so many Tornadoes are just very bulky and have no attack that it makes sense to try and chance that. But I think once we were able to switch in Kyogre safely and get rid of that Venusaur, like we had nothing really to worry about. And then they didn't go for a light screen. They chose just to go for the fake out to try and get Calyrex in safely, right? To say, hey, I'm going to swap into Calyrex. I'm going to go for a light screen the next turn while I set up Trick Room to reduce the total amount of damage. But being able to play around that, I think, really helped us out. So really good first day. We do have the code below. Make sure to check that out. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.